Xander.
And I'm Joe.
And you're watching Cooking with Love Bites. Before you cook, you should always wash your hands and clean your counters.
Alright, so today I'm going to show you how to make wontons. So normally the ones that you see in the restaurant are going to be much bigger, but I'm going to make one that has a bit more pork than shrimp in it. So here we're going to start out with our soup stock.
I love how you whack that ginger. It's so impressive. I'm very impressed by your ginger whacking.
It was a lot easier to whack than I thought it would. So we're just blanching the pork to get out any of the blood from the bones. So you'll see all that foamy stuff coming out. It won't take more than like 3 or 5 minutes. And the ginger will help remove some of that porky meat smell. I still don't. I think I just gotta look at a big thing of raw pork and be like, what does this pork smell like? 'Cause I don't know what the pork smell is, but I trust you more than I trust me. Yeah, that's fair. And I mean, in Koreans, they'll actually put coffee grounds to help remove some of that smell too, just to make it more clear.
Do they just boil it in there with the meat?
I think they put it in like a strainer. Because there's some stuff that you want to remove. Yeah. So I was boiling the soup at the same time that I was doing everything, so it was running back and forth, but it's easier to show you the soup stock at one time.
And why do you clean the flounder?
So you're just removing any extra dust, like, because it's a dried fish and it's all in a bag, so you're just removing any of the extra dust and whatnot.
I really love watching this thing curl. Like, it's so satisfying. Yeah. Is it just the skin?
No, it's a whole, piece
fish?
of flour. Yeah, it's a whole fish.
Is it cut in half or anything, or is it just, like, really, really flat?
Flounder fish are flat. Oh. Yeah, they're quite flat, and I mean, once you dry it.
I didn't know they were actually flat.
Alright, so we're straining all of the fat off of the soup. And normally in the restaurant, they would slow boil the soup for hours on end, which is why you get such a clear broth. But we were in a rush and we were hungry, so we let it boil. And sometimes I actually have seen the technique where they put the soup stock in a big steamer and they cook it that way as well. Which is pretty neat. Kind of neat, actually. This is what happens every time you make broth from scratch. You gotta get rid of all that fat.
Yeah.
So we're gonna work on making our filling, and we're gonna start by salting our shrimp and putting it in the fridge with water. And what that does is when you marinate it with the salt, it causes the shrimp to be kind of crunchy. So when you're cooking it, it's not going to be like this kind of mushy texture. You actually get some bite in it. So after you dice your meat, you're kind of hand grinding it by chopping it with this technique and whatnot. If you are not interested in doing that, you could buy ground pork. It's just you won't get the same texture, like the nice juicy bits of pork that you get in there, because sometimes ground meat gets overground.
Yeah.
And then it has a specific cooking texture. That if you ever had like frozen dumplings,
Yes.
it would be similar to that texture. You kind of want some nice chunks of meat, which is why we do it this way. So now we're gonna mix everything together. Actually, I should also talk about making sure that your knives are sharp.
Yeah.
It's very important to have sharp knives. Otherwise, you're gonna struggle and you could cut yourself. So then you just squeeze out all of the extra water.
Do you have to worry about like squishing them?
No, I mean, you're not squeezing the life out of them, but you're giving a good amount of pressure to remove the excess water.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So my mom wanted full pieces of shrimp, but unfortunately at the grocery store they don't make wonton wrappers big enough to do that. So actually after this I ended up having to take scissors to snip them even smaller.
Oh my gosh. Did she mean like full on just one whole shrimp in each wonton?
I mean, if you go to the restaurants, they put at least 3 or 4 full shrimp.
Holy cow.
Like that's like a legit restaurant wonton. We just went a little bit more pork heavy.
Jeez.
And since I don't have the one-handed skills that these wonton masters do, to wrap them into like those little bunches,
Yeah.
I did this folding technique that was shown to me by this. I was watching these YouTube videos.
Oh yeah.
So I think this was also a traditional way of making them. My mom said it reminded her of when she was little and she would pick up wontons for like 5 cents or something like that.
Aww. They're so cute and tiny.
They are. Have a cup of cold water handy so that when your wontons come back to a boil, you're gonna pour that water in.
Yeah, the first time I saw that, I was like, "What is that?" And then I realized that the boiling stopped. And I was like, "Oh, it's cold water."
So that technique will actually keep your wonton wrappers from ballooning up and bursting.
Burst wonton is no fun.
You lose all your stuffing and all the flavor.
Gotta keep it all inside.
Yep, and you can see they came out really nicely, and it has that classic wrinkled pouch look.
The wrinkled pouch look. It looks so good.
Yes, and unfortunately, I don't have the skills to make the noodles by hand, so we bought them.
How dare you? Hannibal would be so upset.
I know. And then it's ready to eat with the fish skin chips too.
Yum. Alright, that's all. Thanks for watching, everybody. And be on the lookout for future cooking videos and posts, as well as updates on the Love Bites scene. Bye!
See you next time.